Everything that unfolds in your life is the outpicturing of an unseen reality. Your inner conversations, your assumptions, your faith. When God leads you, it is not with thunder, not with noise, but in the stillness of your soul. The path is not lit from outside, but from within. It is not a push, it is a pull, a feeling, a knowing that something greater is moving through you as you. You are not walking toward a destination. You are awakening to what already is. The signs are not always what the world would expect. Sometimes doors close, people disappear, plans dissolve. But all of it is perfect. All of it is guidance. This guidance is not separate from you. It is you clothed in divine awareness. When God leads, you are no longer reacting to the world. The world reacts to you. And in that moment you realize every event, every turn, every so-called detour was orchestrated by the hand of an infinite wisdom, not to test you, but to reveal you. So now we begin. Let us explore what truly happens when God leads and you listen. Divine guidance does not arrive with noise or fanfare. It begins in stillness, the quiet, almost imperceptible sense that something within is speaking without words. It isn't found in the opinions of others, the chaos of the world, or the rush to achieve something external. It starts as a whisper deep within the soul, a gentle nudge that often defies logic but carries an undeniable certainty. This stillness is not emptiness. It is the sacred space where truth begins to reveal itself. In that silence, you become aware that there is something more, something beyond the senses, calling you to trust what you feel over what you see. When a person becomes still, not physically alone, but inwardly quiet, something sacred happens. The distractions of the mind begin to fade, and the constant loop of fear, doubt, and anxiety loses its grip. In that moment, you start to hear a different voice. This voice does not argue. It does not demand. It simply is. It speaks not through volume, but through peace. It does not push, but draws you in. And for the first time, you realize that divine guidance is not a message from a distant source, but the unveiling of your own deeper awareness. Most people look for signs in the external world. They want confirmation from circumstances, from people, from patterns that make rational sense. But when God leads, the signs are not given in the beginning. They come after trust is exercised. The leading begins before the evidence, and it often starts with nothing more than a feeling, a still voice that says, "This is the way." That feeling is subtle, yet its effect can be profound. In the quiet of your spirit, you begin to recognize that this guidance is not emotional reaction, nor fleeting inspiration. It is a rooted knowing, a deep awareness that something greater is orchestrating each step. Stillness is required not just to receive the guidance, but to recognize that it has always been there. It is not that God begins to speak only when you are quiet. It is that you begin to listen. The noise of fear and the rush of worldly pressure act like static, drowning out the frequency of divine wisdom. But the moment you detach from needing immediate results or answers, the clarity begins to surface. It rises from within as a sense of peace, often in the most unlikely moments. In places where others see confusion, you begin to sense purpose. Where others would be anxious, you begin to feel calm. That is not your personality shifting. It is the presence of divine leadership taking over. This stillness is not passive. It is not laziness or apathy. It is powerful receptivity. It is a deep inner consent to allow the divine to take the reins, to allow wisdom to arise on its own, without forcing or grasping. In this space, you are not acting from desperation, but from alignment. You no longer need to run after opportunities because the right ones begin to present themselves. It is in this state that the right words, the right people, the right ideas find you, not through striving, but through resonance. You have become a vibrational match to the very guidance you seek. You don't chase clarity anymore. You become it. You don't ask for direction in panic. You listen in peace. And that peace brings you into deeper alignment than any external effort could ever produce. Guidance from God is not outside the moment. It is the moment fully embraced, fully accepted, fully seen. And the more still you become inside, the more that moment begins to speak. You begin to notice the way events arrange themselves, not to control you, but to reveal the next step. You begin to see that there are no accidents, no wasted delays, no coincidences. Everything is being used. Everything is part of the divine unfolding. Stillness reveals that you are not separate from the source that guides you. The mind loves to ask, "How do I hear from God?" Or "What if I make the wrong decision?" But in the stillness you come to realize that the answer is not in the mind. It is in your state of being. You don't receive guidance by asking louder or praying harder. You receive it by aligning deeper, by stilling the thoughts that demand proof, and trusting the awareness that needs none. Many times guidance comes when you're not even actively seeking it, because your stillness has become fertile ground. It finds you in the middle of a walk, in the quiet moments before sleep, or even during a conversation that unexpectedly answers the question you never spoke aloud. That is not coincidence. That is the natural result of having created space. When God leads, it feels like ease, not because there's no effort, but because the effort is not wasted. It is directed, focused, aligned. The internal struggle fades, and action flows from a place of inner security. You may not always recognize the moment guidance arrives. Sometimes it is only clear in hindsight. But when your inner world is quiet, you begin to notice patterns you missed before. You begin to feel drawn in a direction that may not make sense to others, but feels deeply right. And even if no one affirms it, something inside you knows this is the way. And so you follow, not with force, but with faith, not needing to see the whole path, but trusting that each step taken from stillness is lit with purpose. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner world, whether one is conscious of it or not. Every condition, every encounter, and every circumstance is a mirror showing back the assumptions held in consciousness. When divine guidance begins to move within, it does not merely affect private emotions or thoughts, it restructures reality itself. The outer begins to shift in subtle and profound ways, echoing the change that has occurred in the unseen realm. This is not about forcing circumstances to conform, but about allowing the transformation within to radiate outward in perfect alignment with divine order. People often strive to change their environment, their relationships, their careers, believing that outer changes will bring inner peace. But when divine guidance is active, the process reverses. Inner peace precedes the external breakthrough. The shift begins first in feeling, in belief, in the quiet acceptance that one is already aligned with what is true, what is right, what is destined. As this alignment strengthens, the outer begins to rearrange, to reflect this new inner foundation. Opportunities that once felt out of reach begin to present themselves. Conversations that felt strained begin to soften. Solutions that once seemed impossible begin to emerge naturally. It is not magic in the way the world defines it, it is law. Divine law is always at work, whether known or unknown. The moment your inner perception shifts, you are no longer the same person. You no longer vibrate with the same limitations. The world around you, being a mirror, can no longer show you what you no longer are. As soon as you stop identifying as the struggling, confused, or abandoned version of yourself, the external world must reflect this redefinition. It may not happen all at once, but it begins. The movement starts as soon as you internally agree to a higher way of being, even before you speak it out loud or take a visible action. Often, the first signs of outer change are small. A different reaction to an old situation, a sense of calm where once there was frustration, a feeling of ease in moments that used to trigger fear. These are not just mood swings, they are indicators that your internal structure is changing. And because your reality is built on that structure, the entire system begins to recalibrate. People may begin to treat you differently, not because they've changed, but because you no longer invite the same dynamic. Paths that once seemed blocked may begin to open. Not because the world moved, but because your inner vision cleared. When divine guidance leads the inner man, the outer man follows. The world bends to the new understanding without needing to be manipulated. There is no need to push, strive, or beg for recognition or results. The results become inevitable. It is not about earning a new outcome through effort. It is about embodying a new truth that naturally produces a new life. That embodiment becomes a magnet. It draws people, opportunities, timing, and direction that all match the inner tone. The energy that was once used in chasing becomes energy now grounded in receiving. The transformation often bypasses logic. Someone may wonder how a shift in thought can affect money, relationships, or health. But that is because they still believe reality is separate from consciousness. When God leads, you begin to see they are not separate at all. Reality is simply the visible record of what is accepted as true internally. Change the truth within, and the outer must respond, not as a favor, but as a law fulfilling itself. This realization can be jarring to those who are used to trying harder to fix things, but it is also liberating. It means you are never trapped by conditions. You are only ever invited to look within and shift the cause. Sometimes the shift brings discomfort, because the outer world must deconstruct old manifestations that no longer align. This can look like loss, like endings, like confusion, but it is only the falling away of what no longer fits the inner blueprint. Relationships may change or fall away. Jobs may dissolve. The timing of events may suddenly accelerate or delay. But all of it serves the purpose of aligning the visible with the invisible. The more you trust the process, the less you fear these disruptions. They become signs not of chaos, but of clarity in motion. The world cannot help but mirror your inner world. It is designed to do so. And so when divine guidance leads your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions, the physical must reorganize to accommodate this divine shift. Even time begins to behave differently. Delays that once frustrated you become meaningful pauses. Long waits begin to collapse into sudden acceleration. What once required years now unfolds in weeks, not because you rushed, but because you released resistance. Your new inner identity became so anchored that the external had no choice but to catch up. Others may look at your life and call it luck or timing, but you know it is deeper than that. You know that the true shift happened long before it was seen. It happened in the quiet moments, in the surrendered thoughts, in the silent agreement with a higher path. You did not manipulate circumstances. You aligned with truth. And truth, once embraced internally, will shape the world around you in ways you could never have engineered with effort alone. When divine guidance is at work, closed doors are not the signs of punishment or failure that the ego assumes them to be. They are precise redirections crafted by a wisdom that sees the full path even when the next step is hidden. To the mind that desires control, a closed door can feel like rejection. It can feel like delay, denial, or disappointment. But when one begins to walk by inner vision rather than outward appearance, the meaning of these moments begins to shift. What appears to be a barrier is often a blessing in disguise, a form of divine protection steering the soul away from lesser outcomes towards something more aligned with its highest purpose. This redirection is subtle and sometimes frustrating because it rarely comes with immediate clarity. The door closes, the opportunity fades, the person leaves, and the mind rushes to fill the silence with doubt. Why did this happen? What went wrong? But divine guidance does not explain itself in the language of the world. It speaks in trust, in patience, in the quiet unfolding of a better story. What feels like an unanswered prayer is often a rearranged timeline. What seems like a loss is often a hidden gain. The mind sees a door slam shut and declares it the end. The spirit sees the same door close and knows that something better is about to open elsewhere. When a person is led by the divine, life stops being a series of wins and losses. It becomes a sequence of perfectly placed steps, each one guided by an intelligence that does not make mistakes. Closed doors are not curses, they are edits. They are course corrections that redirect energy, time, and attention toward the path where fulfillment actually resides. Sometimes what is blocked is not wrong in itself, but it is not right now. The timing may be off. The readiness may be incomplete. The deeper alignment may still be forming. And so the door closes. Not to hurt, but to help. Not to stop, but to slow. Not to punish, but to protect the greater vision that is still unfolding beneath the surface. There are moments in life when a door closes so suddenly or so decisively that it takes your breath away. A dream that seemed certain crumbles. A relationship that felt divine ends. A job or plan dissolves without warning. These moments can feel like abandonment, but with divine insight they are revealed to be pivots. They are gentle or sometimes forceful, ways of saying not this, so that the soul is not trapped in something that would have diminished its light. These redirections may not always be understood in real time. They require faith that sees beyond the surface. They call for the kind of trust that believes the hand of God is still guiding, even in silence. The mind wants explanation. It wants logic, reasons, closure. But divine redirection often bypasses all of that. It works on a deeper plane, arranging events according to a tapestry that only makes sense in hindsight. That job you didn't get, that person who walked away, that plan that never unfolded. These are not failures. They are grace in disguise. They are the removal of the lesser to make room for the greater. Had the door stayed open, you might have walked into a version of life that looked good but drained your spirit. You might have settled for a path that offered security but not purpose. You might have remained in a comfort zone and missed the calling designed specifically for you. In the space between doors, it is easy to doubt. It is easy to feel lost or directionless. But this space is fertile. It is the divine pause between chapters, the still point where realignment happens. It is where you are taught not to depend on circumstances but on connection, not on plans but on presence, not on visibility but on vision. In this sacred space, what is no longer serving begins to fall away, and what is truly yours begins to take shape, not through striving but through surrender. Divine guidance removes what is not aligned so that your energy can be redirected toward what truly is. There is a kind of spiritual maturity that develops when you begin to bless the closed doors instead of cursing them. You begin to see them as sacred signals, not setbacks. You recognize that a no in the natural is often a yes in the spiritual. You begin to walk with less fear of loss and more awareness of leading. Even when pain accompanies the redirection, the soul knows it is being rerouted to something more fulfilling. The heart may ache, but the spirit understands. It listens beyond disappointment and begins to see design. It sees the way the closed door forced growth, revealed truth, exposed illusions, or created space for something deeper to enter. This process can unfold again and again throughout life. Each time you think you have figured it out, another door may close. Not because you failed, but because you are being refined. Each redirection is a refinement of your path, a sharpening of your focus, a deepening of your alignment. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. And that preparation often requires the shedding of attachments, the letting go of what once felt essential, and the trust to keep walking even when the next door has not yet appeared. The absence of an open door does not mean the absence of guidance. It means that the next door is being crafted in perfect timing. It means that you are exactly where you are meant to be, not stuck, not lost, but led. When divine guidance begins to govern your life, intuition no longer feels like a vague sensation. It becomes a precise inner compass. This inner compass does not function like the mind's logic or society's checklist. It speaks from a deeper place, bypassing surface reasoning and connecting directly to what is true for you in each moment. Intuition becomes the subtle yet powerful language through which divine intelligence communicates. It doesn't argue or compete for attention. It simply presents itself, calm, steady, often quiet, but unmistakably clear when you learn to listen. In the presence of this guidance, decision-making shifts. No longer dependent on endless pros and cons or external validation, you begin to navigate by feeling, alignment, and inner resonance. This shift can feel radical at first because it challenges how most people are conditioned to operate. Society trains the mind to calculate, to weigh every option based on outcome and approval. But divine intuition is not concerned with optics. It cares only for truth. When God leads, your intuition sharpens. Not because something new is added to you, but because all the noise and false identities begin to fall away. What remains is your purest inner signal, an internal knowing that does not require proof before obedience. It is a pull toward peace, a nudge toward alignment, a deep awareness that something is either right or not, long before any facts confirm it. You begin to notice how certain decisions feel heavy and forced, while others feel light and expansive, even if they make less sense logically. You start to feel the energy of situations rather than just analyzing their structure. A conversation may seem fine on the surface, but your intuition picks up on the dissonance. A new opportunity might look perfect on paper, but your inner compass tells you to wait. These moments of inner contradiction are not confusion. They are clarity rising through contrast. They reveal the difference between what the world says should work and what your soul knows is true. The more you follow this compass, the more confident you become in its reliability. Intuition is not just a passive feeling. It is active intelligence. It leads you not only away from what is wrong, but toward what is divinely right. And it does so in real time, moment to moment, step by step. There is no need to know the entire journey. Intuition reveals enough light for the next step, and that is always sufficient. You begin to move in faith rather than fear. The pressure to predict every outcome fades, replaced by a growing trust in the unfolding path. This internal compass does not always align with the opinions of others. There will be moments when those around you cannot understand your choices. They will question why you walked away, why you said no, why you pursued something uncertain when something secure was available. But when divine intuition leads, you no longer seek to be understood. You seek to be obedient to the truth within. That obedience brings freedom. It allows you to move without the burden of approval or the fear of failure. The compass within does not need consensus. It only requires attentiveness. As your sensitivity to this guidance increases, you begin to live in rhythm with a higher intelligence. You wake up each day attuned to the subtle movements of your spirit. You learn to recognize when something feels off, not because you are paranoid or anxious, but because your internal alignment has become your measuring stick. You don't need to force clarity. It arises naturally. And the more you trust your intuition, the stronger it becomes. Each act of obedience builds spiritual muscle. Each small yes to that quiet voice opens the way for a bigger revelation. There are times when following this compass leads you into unfamiliar territory. It may ask you to step away from comfort, from predictability, even from what you once prayed for. But that is because the compass sees the whole landscape. It is not guiding you to safety. It is guiding you to destiny. It doesn't just care that you avoid pain. It cares that you fulfill purpose. So it will sometimes lead you into challenge, not to hurt you but to form you. And in those places your faith deepens, your clarity sharpens, your courage grows. This divine intuition also reveals itself through confirmation. A phrase, a symbol, a dream, a sudden knowing, all become part of a language only you understand. The universe begins to echo your internal decisions. You meet people who confirm what you were just thinking. You receive messages that align perfectly with your private meditations. The world responds to your obedience with signs and support, not because you asked for them, but because you tuned into the signal that connects all things. You become aware that every moment is part of the map, even those that feel ordinary or confusing. Nothing is wasted. The delays, the redirections, the deep silences, all serve a purpose in strengthening your connection to this compass. You no longer live by accident or ambition. You live by alignment. You let go of the need to push doors open and instead learn to follow the flow of divine timing. Each time you feel that inner knowing arise, you follow without demanding to see the finish line. You trust that the compass will never mislead you, that the voice within is anchored in a wisdom greater than your own, that what you feel in your spirit is more trustworthy than what you see with your eyes. When divine guidance begins to orchestrate your life, people begin to enter and exit with precision that defies coincidence. Relationships are no longer random, they are purposeful. Each interaction becomes part of a greater unfolding, whether it lasts a moment or a lifetime. The soul starts to attract individuals who mirror its evolving state, who either support its growth or challenge it into deeper transformation. Some arrive to uplift, encourage, and expand you. Others appear to reveal unhealed wounds, to serve as reflections of patterns still lingering beneath the surface. All are teachers, all are mirrors, all are part of the divine choreography. As the inner world shifts, the outer world follows, including the people within it. Old connections may begin to feel strained, not because of conflict, but because of energetic mismatch. Conversations that once felt nourishing may now seem hollow. Shared values may begin to drift apart. This doesn't mean the other person is wrong. It simply means you are no longer aligned. When divine guidance is leading, relationships evolve at the pace of your soul, not your past. This can be painful, especially when long-held bonds begin to dissolve. But it is not rejection, it is redirection. It is the gentle unraveling of connections that no longer serve the version of you that is emerging. In place of what falls away, new relationships begin to form. These often arrive without effort. You find yourself encountering individuals who speak the same inner language, who understand your silence, who see you clearly without needing to explain. These divine connections don't need to be forced. They flow naturally, fueled by resonance rather than obligation. They often come with synchronicity, a sense that this meeting was always meant to happen. And in their presence, your soul exhales. You feel seen, heard, affirmed in a way that feels deeper than personality. These are the people sent not by chance, but by divine alignment. Not every divine connection feels easy. Some come to stretch you. They hold up mirrors that reflect your shadows. They challenge your assumptions. They press on old wounds to bring them to the surface. These people may not stay, but their presence is sacred. They awaken the parts of you that are ready to be healed. When divine guidance is leading, even conflict has purpose. Even endings are woven with wisdom. What looks like betrayal may become the path to self-respect. What feels like loss may unlock a deeper sense of worth. The soul does not judge the role people play. It receives the lesson and lets go with grace. You also begin to feel a sense of release toward those who leave. The need to cling dissolves. When someone exits your life, you trust that their part in your story is complete. There is no resentment, only recognition. You see that what once connected you no longer does, and instead of forcing a continuation, you honor the closure. Divine guidance brings a softness to these moments. You stop chasing those who drift away. You stop trying to resurrect what is already complete. You trust that if someone is meant to be in your life, they will remain or return without force. Until then, you make peace with the space they once filled. Divinely guided relationships are not always obvious at first. Some may begin in chaos or confusion, only to reveal their purpose later. Others may seem insignificant, but leave a lifelong imprint. You start to recognize that divine timing governs not just the who, but also the when. People appear at the exact moment your soul is ready. They offer keys, insights, awakenings that could not have been received earlier. You don't have to understand the full reason for each relationship while you're in it. Sometimes the clarity comes long after. What matters is the willingness to be present, to receive, to learn, and to let go when the time comes. You also become more intentional about the energy you give. Divine guidance creates discernment. You no longer share your time, energy, and heart with just anyone. You sense who is aligned, who is draining, who is anchoring you to a past you've outgrown. Boundaries become clearer, not as walls but as declarations of what is sacred. You honor your inner peace more than social expectations. You stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop trying to convince people to stay. You trust that those who are truly aligned will recognize your value without persuasion. This refinement in relationships often creates space for deeper unity with others, but also with yourself. Divine guidance begins to reconnect you to your own essence, and from that place you attract others who are doing the same. There is less neediness, less proving, less performance. Relationships become sacred exchanges, not survival strategies. You love from fullness, not from lack. You give without losing yourself. You receive without guilt. The drama fades, the anxiety lessens. There is a sense of peace even in the unknown. You don't need to label every connection because you trust the energy will reveal its purpose in time. This process continues to evolve as you evolve. People may come and go, but you no longer fear the rhythm. You walk with open hands, grateful for who stays, thankful for who leaves, and receptive to who is still on the way. You understand that your relationships are not happening to you, they are unfolding through you. Each person is drawn by the vibration you carry, and each serves a role in your becoming. You are no longer searching for the perfect people. You are becoming the person who attracts what is already aligned. And in that becoming, you find that your relationships no longer drain your light, they reflect it. When divine guidance begins to truly shape your life, your perception of timing undergoes a deep and lasting transformation. The pressure to rush to meet deadlines imposed by culture or ego begins to dissolve. Instead, a new awareness emerges, one that understands that every moment unfolds with divine precision. You no longer see delays as denials, but as preparation. Waiting is no longer passive or frustrating. It becomes sacred. It becomes a space where unseen things are being arranged, where your inner world is being aligned with the blessings that are not just coming, but being perfected for the exact moment you are ready to receive them. In this divine rhythm, you start to notice that what once seemed late actually arrives on time. The job you didn't get when you desperately wanted it, the relationship that didn't work out when you prayed it would, the opportunity that fell through when you believed it was your breakthrough. All of it starts to make sense in hindsight. You begin to see how the universe was not ignoring you but orchestrating something far better than your limited timeline could perceive. The events of your life start to weave together like a symphony, and what once looked like silence was simply the pause before the music swelled again. You also notice how divine timing often contradicts logic. The mind plans, strategizes, and calculates based on linear progression: school, job, marriage, success, retirement. But the divine moves in cycles, seasons, and sudden shifts. What appears stagnant can change in an instant. What appears secure can be taken away overnight. And what seems far off can be brought near when your inner life catches up to your outer desire. This creates a kind of humility, an awareness that your plans are not the ultimate map. They are tools, but they are not truth. The timing you trusted in the past begins to feel brittle compared to the deeper knowing that the right things will never miss you when you are truly aligned. You begin to flow instead of forcing. You release the anxiety that says, "I should be further by now." You stop measuring your worth by the timeline of others. You no longer see age, milestones, or achievements as metrics of success. You see presence, alignment, and inner peace as signs that you are right where you need to be. In this space, you become more available to the present. You stop living in someday and begin to find meaning in now. The obsession with arrival fades, and what rises in its place is trust. A deep anchoring trust that whatever is unfolding is doing so with perfect intelligence. Even in seasons of waiting, you begin to notice that divine timing is not idle. It is active beneath the surface. Like a seed buried in soil, growth is taking place where the eye cannot see. Your character is being developed. Your patience is being strengthened. Your vision is being refined. Divine timing is not about delay for the sake of delay. It is about preparation. It is about making sure that when the door opens, you're not only ready to walk through it, but ready to stay on the other side. It's about sustainability, not just manifestation. What's coming is not being withheld. It's being matured. You begin to understand that premature blessings can become burdens. Getting what you want before you're ready to carry it can break you. Divine timing protects you from that. It ensures that what is given to you is given at the moment you can honor, sustain, and multiply it. It removes the illusion that faster is better and replaces it with the truth that lasting things are often slow-cooked. You start to bless the delay. You learn to extract meaning from the stillness. You see how some doors need to remain closed a little longer, not because you are not worthy, but because the space behind them is still being prepared for your arrival. In this divine flow, you become less reactive and more responsive. You don't rush decisions out of fear of missing out. You don't jump into things because others are doing them. You wait for the inner confirmation, the divine yes that rises without tension. You trust the pause. You honor divine signals more than external signs. This kind of timing creates peace. It makes room for grace. It gives you the courage to stop chasing and start allowing. And in that allowance, things begin to unfold in ways you couldn't have predicted. Opportunities find you. The right people appear. Situations align without your interference. You no longer pray for quick results. You pray for right ones. You stop asking, when will it happen? And start asking, what is this moment preparing me for? You stop treating time like an enemy and begin to partner with it. You use it to build, to grow, to align, to become. Every delay becomes a doorway into deeper trust. Every pause becomes a portal for reflection. You begin to enjoy the pace of your own path. You no longer compare timelines. You no longer believe you're behind. You are simply where you are meant to be, and that becomes enough. As your awareness of divine timing deepens, so does your patience with yourself. You stop criticizing your pace. You stop resenting your process. You begin to see time not as a ticking clock, but as sacred space. You learn to live in rhythm with your own soul. You begin to understand that you are not late, you are in alignment. You are not stuck, you are being still for a purpose. What once felt like delay now feels like divine design, and you move through life with a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. When you begin to follow divine guidance, your external circumstances no longer hold the same power over your internal peace. The measure of progress shifts from what can be seen to what is felt in the unseen. Outward success becomes secondary to inward alignment. Even when life appears uncertain or chaotic on the surface, there is a calm center within you that remains untouched. This stillness is not ignorance or denial. It is the result of trusting that what you cannot see is more real than what you can. Faith replaces fear, not because the situation has changed, but because your source of assurance has moved from the world around you to the presence within you. This level of inner stability changes how you interpret life. Challenges that once triggered panic now invite reflection. Losses that once felt unbearable now become spaces for divine revelation. Instead of rushing to escape discomfort, you start to ask what it is teaching you. You stop resisting what is and instead lean into it with curiosity. Every event becomes a message. Every struggle becomes a mirror. Every disappointment becomes a doorway. You no longer assume that hardship means something is wrong. You recognize that divine work often happens in the darkness, when the ground is being prepared for something greater to take root. You also begin to release control over outcomes. The constant effort to manipulate, manage, and make things happen begins to feel exhausting because it is misaligned with the deeper current now guiding your life. You learn to let go. You stop clinging to how things should look and open to how they are divinely meant to unfold. This surrender is not passive, it is powerful. It means you act when moved, not when pressured. You speak when led, not when expected. You release the need to be in control and begin to trust the divine orchestration of each unfolding moment. There is a deep sense of protection that arises from this kind of faith. Not the kind of protection that avoids all hardship, but the kind that ensures everything you walk through is being used for your evolution. Even in pain, you sense that you are held. Even in confusion, you feel that you are guided. This knowing becomes your anchor. When things don't make sense, you no longer unravel. You wait, you pray, you listen, you hold your ground in stillness until the next direction becomes clear. The noise around you may be loud, but the whisper within remains steady. Divine guidance also redefines your idea of success. It is no longer measured in applause, numbers, or status. It is measured in peace, alignment, and authenticity. You stop chasing goals that drain your soul. You stop running toward destinations that don't feel like home. You recognize that the ultimate achievement is to live from a place of integrity, where your inner world and outer world reflect the same truth. This kind of success may not look impressive to others, but it feels rich, grounded, and fulfilling. You wake up with purpose, not pressure. You go to sleep with gratitude, not regret. In this space, you become less reactive to external opinions. The validation you once craved becomes less important because you are no longer building your life to be understood, you are building it to be true. You speak from the center of your knowing. You move in alignment with your spirit. You say yes and no without guilt. You detach from the need to explain. There is a quiet confidence that grows when you realize that the divine is your source, not people, not platforms, not possessions. You stop chasing approval and begin to embody truth, knowing that alignment is louder than affirmation. You begin to see yourself differently too. The version of you that needed to prove, perform, or please starts to fade. In its place emerges a soul that knows it is already worthy, already whole, already loved. You no longer define yourself by your past or your pain. You define yourself by your connection to divine wisdom. You begin to treat yourself with the same reverence that you once reserved for the sacred, realizing you were never separate from it. This deepened self-awareness creates clarity. You don't need to become anything. You need only to remember who you are. That remembrance changes your energy. People notice something different, even if they can't name it. You walk with peace. You speak with intention. You radiate a presence that is not tied to performance, but to presence itself. This is not charisma. It is spiritual authority. It doesn't come from striving. It comes from surrender. It comes from walking in alignment with a guidance greater than your intellect, trusting that what is meant for you will recognize you without effort, that what belongs to you will arrive without struggle, and that your only task is to remain true to what the voice within is whispering in every moment. When God leads you, life takes on a rhythm that defies human understanding yet brings unshakable peace. You no longer chase outcomes. You align with purpose. You stop living by sight and start walking by inner conviction. Challenges become teachers. Delays become preparation. And every person, place, and event becomes a part of your divine unfolding. In this state, you are not lost. You are led. You are not broken. You are being built. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. As divine guidance takes over, your heart softens. Your steps become intentional, and your soul finds rest in the unseen hand that has been guiding you all along. You realize that everything you need is already within you, and everything meant for you is making its way toward you in perfect time. When you find yourself in a place of worry, in a space where the weight of uncertainty feels unbearable, remember that worry is but an illusion. It is a belief in something outside of you, something external, that you think can threaten your peace or your success. But I tell you this, you are the creator of your reality. You are not bound by the limitations of the world around you. The power to change your circumstances lies within you, and it lies in your ability to believe. When you truly understand that the universe is constantly responding to your thoughts, your words, and your beliefs, you begin to see that what you fear and what you worry about are mere reflections of your inner state. You are the architect of your experiences. Your imagination is the blueprint. Whatever you choose to envision with feeling, with certainty, that is what will come to pass. The key is trust that the solution is already there. It is already formed. You do not need to see it in front of you for it to exist. It is already unfolding in the unseen world, ready to manifest. Your job is to believe that it is done. Let go of the worry that clouds your mind, for it serves only to create more of what you do not desire. Instead, shift your focus, shift your belief, and know with every fiber of your being that the answer is already in motion. When you learn to surrender your need to control every detail, to fix everything with your limited understanding, you open the door to the divine intelligence within you, the intelligence that knows no boundaries and sees no impossibility. This intelligence works in perfect harmony, and when you trust it, you allow it to lead you to your desired outcome. Each moment is an opportunity to realign yourself with what you wish to create. Every thought, every feeling is an invitation to choose peace over worry, faith over fear. By aligning with the feeling of already having what you desire, you are making space for it to come to you effortlessly. Do not look for signs of the solution in the physical world. The world of form will always lag behind the world of thought. What is created within your mind first will soon be revealed in the world around you. This is the law of creation. What you believe, you will see. And what you do not believe, you will not perceive. The more you worry, the more you call into existence the very things you fear. But the more you trust, the more you allow the universe to work on your behalf, without resistance, without doubt. In this moment, choose to stop looking for external evidence of your problems. Instead, look within. Know that the universe is responding to your inner state of being. If you believe that God, or the divine intelligence that created you, has already solved the situation for you, then it is done. You must remember, you are not separate from the source that brought you into being. You are an extension of that infinite power, and as such you are not helpless. You are not abandoned. You are not left to fight your battles alone. The divine is with you, guiding you every step of the way. All you need to do is trust, release the worry, and believe in the unseen forces working on your behalf. As you align your thoughts with the certainty of your desired outcome, you will begin to see it unfold before you. The universe will respond to your inner knowing, and what seemed impossible will now be possible. Do not let doubt or fear stand in your way. Your trust in the unseen is the key that unlocks the door to your desires. Let go of the worry, for it is unnecessary. God, the divine intelligence, has already solved it for you, and all that remains is for you to allow it to come to you. Trust in this divine process. Trust that it is already done, and watch as your world shifts in perfect alignment with your belief. As you sit in silence, you might begin to notice the inner chatter, the worries that appear uninvited, that fill your mind with doubts and uncertainties. It may seem like you're trapped in a cycle of anxiety, where the more you think about a problem, the more it grows. But let me remind you that this is the nature of the mind. It amplifies what you give it attention. The key then is to shift your attention, to guide your focus back to the one thing that holds the power to transform any situation: your belief. You are a conscious creator. This isn't just a philosophical statement or a motivational slogan, it is a fundamental truth. The reality you experience is shaped by your inner world, your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. If you can change the way you perceive a situation, you can change the experience of it. The moment you decide to believe that God, the source, or the infinite intelligence that surrounds and permeates everything, has already resolved your issue, you enter into the flow of creation. This is not a matter of forcing things to happen or struggling to make them come into being. This is the power of allowing. Allowing yourself to believe that the divine has already taken care of everything for you. You are not a passive bystander in your own life, waiting for some external force to intervene. You are an active participant, and your faith, your trust, your belief in the unseen workings of the universe is what will manifest the solution. We live in a world where we are conditioned to seek immediate results, to look for signs, to measure progress with our senses. But the truth is, the most important changes occur in the unseen, in the realm of thought, imagination, and faith. When you feel anxiety or worry arise, it is simply a sign that you have momentarily forgotten this truth. You have momentarily chosen to focus on what you lack, rather than what you have. You have chosen to give power to the problem, rather than the solution. The solution is already within you. It is not something that is coming from outside of you. It is not something that requires effort or struggle. It requires faith. It requires a willingness to trust in what you cannot yet see. For what is unseen is just as real, just as powerful as what is visible. Your desires, your dreams, your solutions, they are already formed in the invisible world, and it is only a matter of time before they become visible to your physical senses. Think of the seed planted in the ground. You cannot see the roots growing, nor can you see the sprout pushing its way through the soil. But it is happening. It is happening because the seed has the potential within it to grow, and the earth has the ability to nurture it. Similarly, your desires are like seeds, and the universe, the divine intelligence, is the earth that nurtures them. You do not need to watch and worry over the seed. You need only to trust in the process and know that in time it will sprout, it will grow, and it will bear fruit. Worry is a form of resistance. It is your mind's attempt to control the outcome, to grasp at solutions that have not yet come into form. But the more you try to force something, the more you push it away. This is the paradox of creation. You cannot manifest from a place of tension, from a place of resistance. The energy of worry only creates more of what you do not want. It clouds your mind and fills your heart with doubt. But when you release the need to control, when you step into trust, the universe flows to you effortlessly, as it was always meant to. It's important to remember that you are not alone in this process. You are never abandoned, never left to struggle in isolation. There is an intelligence greater than your own mind at work in the universe, a power that sees the beginning and the end of all things. This power is working on your behalf, behind the scenes, aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities to bring about the perfect solution for you. Your role is not to make it happen, but to trust that it already has. Your role is to believe that the solution is already in place, even before you can see it. As you begin to shift your focus from worry to trust, you may notice a sense of peace begin to settle in. This peace is the result of releasing control and surrendering to the divine intelligence that is always at work. When you feel at peace, you are in alignment with the flow of abundance and solutions. It is like stepping into a river and letting the current carry you, knowing that it will take you to where you need to go. The more you resist the current, the harder it becomes to move. But when you relax, when you trust, the journey becomes effortless. Your thoughts, your imagination are not mere fantasies, they are powerful tools of creation. The thoughts you hold in your mind are not idle, they are setting in motion the forces that will shape your reality. So when you find yourself slipping into worry, remind yourself that what you focus on, you create. Shift your focus to the belief that everything is already resolved. Imagine the situation working out perfectly, as if it has already happened. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the joy of the solution already in place. In doing so, you are aligning your inner state with the divine order of the universe, and this alignment will manifest in your physical world. You see, the problem you face is not a reflection of some failure or inadequacy on your part. It is simply an opportunity for you to exercise your faith, to believe that all things work together for good. It is an opportunity to trust in the process, to trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when you cannot see it. And the more you trust, the more you release the need for control, the more you allow the divine to work through you, the quicker the solution will appear. At times, the solution may come in ways that you do not expect, in forms that you did not anticipate. But this is the beauty of the process. When you trust in the unseen, you open yourself to receive in ways that your limited mind cannot conceive. The divine intelligence knows what is best for you, and it is always working on your behalf, guiding you, leading you to the path that will bring about your highest good. Your job is simply to trust and believe that it is already done. So when worry tries to creep in, when doubt begins to take hold, remind yourself of this truth: everything is already resolved. The answer is already in motion. Your part is to trust and believe. Let go of the need to know how it will happen, when it will happen, or what form it will take. Just know that it is already done. The universe is responding to your belief, and in time the solution will be made manifest. In the stillness of your mind, in the peace of your heart, you will feel the truth of this. You will feel the knowing that all is well, that the divine is always with you, guiding you and working to bring about the perfect resolution. Trust in this knowing, for it is the foundation upon which all manifestation is built. Remember that you are never alone, and you are always supported. The divine intelligence that governs the universe is always with you, always guiding you, always responding to your thoughts and beliefs. Your role is not to worry, not to doubt, but to trust. Trust that the solution is already here. Trust that it will unfold in perfect timing. Trust that God, the divine, sees your struggle and has already resolved it for you. Let go of the worry, release the fear, and allow yourself to walk in the certainty that everything is already taken care of. Trust in the divine process. Trust in yourself, and trust that the answers you seek are already on their way. When you think about the challenges you face, remember that every challenge is not a problem to be solved through worry, but an opportunity to strengthen your faith. You must understand that challenges are not indicators of something wrong or out of place. Instead, they are part of the divine order of life, pushing you towards a deeper realization of your own power, your own potential, and your connection to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. In every moment of uncertainty, in every moment of worry, you are presented with a choice to trust or to fear. Fear comes when you allow yourself to look only at the external world, where things appear out of your control. But trust comes when you look within, remembering that the universe, or whatever force you believe in, is always working on your behalf. You do not need to understand every detail of the process. You need only to trust that it is already done. Trust is the foundation upon which all manifestation is built, and when you trust, you allow the forces of the universe to work on your behalf without interference. The beauty of life lies in the unknown. It is in the unknown where your desires take shape, where solutions form, and where the divine begins to weave together the perfect circumstances to bring you what you need. This is a process that happens beyond your awareness, in the realm of the unseen. The moment you let go of trying to control everything, the universe steps in and begins to arrange things in ways you could not have predicted. Think of the way nature works. A seed is planted, and over time the seed grows. It does not worry about whether or not it will break through the soil. It simply grows, trusting that the conditions will be right for it to flourish. The seed does not try to force itself to sprout, it simply knows, on a deep level, that it is destined to do so. You, too, are like that seed. The desires within you, the things you wish to create and manifest, are already planted in your heart. They are already forming in the unseen, and all that is required of you is trust. Trust that the divine intelligence knows when and how to bring them into your life. Your life is not a series of random events, nor is it a series of challenges that you must endure alone. No, your life is a carefully orchestrated dance between you and the universe, a dance in which your thoughts and feelings are the lead. When you think thoughts of peace, of trust, of gratitude, you invite more of these experiences into your life. And when you think thoughts of worry and fear, you create the very things you do not want. The power is always in your hands. If you can simply shift your perception and embrace the understanding that everything is already resolved, that the universe is already working to bring about your highest good, you will feel a sense of relief wash over you. This relief comes because you are no longer resisting the flow of life. You are no longer trying to figure out how things will work out. Instead, you are allowing the universe to take care of the details, while you focus on trusting and believing that everything is coming together in perfect harmony. The moment you let go of worry is the moment you align yourself with the divine plan. Worry is a form of resistance to the natural flow of life. It is an unwillingness to trust that everything is working out for your good. But when you choose to trust, you choose to release that resistance. And in doing so, you open yourself up to receive the solutions, the blessings, the guidance that are already on their way to you. When you trust, you surrender to the knowing that the solution is already in place and that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. There is an immense power in your ability to surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving in to the flow of life. It means allowing the forces of the universe to work in perfect harmony with you, rather than against you. When you surrender, you no longer have to worry about the how or the when. You no longer have to stress over what will happen next. You simply trust that everything is moving toward your highest good. One of the most important things to remember when you are faced with a difficult situation is that you are not alone. You are never abandoned, never left to struggle on your own. There is a higher intelligence, the divine presence, that is always with you, guiding you every step of the way. It sees your pain, it knows your desires, and it is always working to bring you what you need. The more you trust in this intelligence, the more it can work through you to bring about the changes you desire. You must learn to pay attention to these subtle signals. These are the signs that God is working on your behalf. These are the moments when the universe is gently guiding you in the right direction. Trusting these signals is an important part of the process. The more you trust them, the more you will experience a deeper connection to the divine and a greater sense of alignment with your desires. It is easy to get caught up in the chaos of the world, to let the noise and confusion of everyday life drown out the still, quiet voice of divine guidance. But when you take the time to quiet your mind, to listen to the whispers of your heart, you will find that the answers you seek are already within you. You do not need to look outside of yourself for the solution. The solution is within you, and it is always available to you. You need only to trust that it is there and that it will come to you in the right time. This trust is not blind faith. It is the certainty that comes from knowing that you are an integral part of the divine plan. You are not separate from the source, you are one with it. And because you are one with it, everything that belongs to you will come to you in perfect time. This is a law of the universe, a law that cannot be broken. Everything that you need, everything that you desire, is already on its way to you. Your job is simply to trust and to allow. As you continue to walk this path of trust, you will begin to notice that the more you believe, the more the universe will respond to you. Opportunities will open up in unexpected ways. People will appear to help you along the way. Solutions will present themselves when you least expect them. And all of this will happen because you have chosen to trust. You have chosen to believe that the solution is already in motion. You must understand that your worry, your fear, only serves to slow down the manifestation process. It is like trying to walk forward while looking backward. The more you focus on the past, on past failures, on past mistakes, the more you hold yourself back. But when you focus on the present moment, on the belief that everything is already resolved, you align yourself with the flow of the universe, and everything begins to fall into place. There is no need to force the outcome. There is no need to chase after your desires. Your desires are already yours, and all you have to do is allow them to unfold. As you trust, as you believe, you will find that everything you need is already within your reach. It is simply waiting for you to recognize it, waiting for you to believe in its presence. The universe is always responding to your thoughts and beliefs. When you worry, you are sending out a signal of lack. But when you trust, you are sending out a signal of abundance. The universe cannot help but respond to the energy you are putting out into the world. Therefore, it is essential that you focus on trust, on faith, on knowing that everything is already taken care of. The moment you do this, you will begin to notice a shift in your reality, a shift that reflects the trust you have placed in the divine. Trust is the key to unlocking everything you desire. When you trust, you release the need to control, and when you release the need to control, the universe can work through you in ways that you could not have imagined. The solution to your problem is already in motion. You need only to trust that it is already done. Let go of the worry and allow the divine to do the work for you. Trusting in the divine plan means accepting that things may not always unfold in the way you expect. Sometimes the path may appear unclear, or the solution may seem to come from an unexpected direction. But this is where faith comes into play. Faith is the unwavering belief that what is meant for you is already on its way, regardless of the circumstances that surround you at the moment. You must accept that the universe knows far more than you can comprehend. The challenges you are facing today are often part of a bigger, grander plan that you may not yet see. What you perceive as obstacles are actually stepping stones that lead you toward a higher purpose. When you stop worrying and start trusting, you release the need to control the how and the when. The universe operates on divine timing, and its wisdom far exceeds our understanding. We often try to rush things because we think we know what is best for us, but by doing so we may block the very things that are already being set in motion. Trusting the timing of the universe means letting go of impatience and being patient in knowing that what is meant for you will come at the right time. The beauty of life is in its unfolding, and everything that has been planted within you will come to fruition in its perfect moment. In moments of doubt, remember that nothing is truly lost, and nothing is ever outside the realm of possibility. Life in its essence is a constant state of change. Every moment is an opportunity for transformation. There are no permanent failures, there are only lessons and opportunities to grow. When you trust in this process, you realize that the difficult situations you find yourself in are merely temporary, and they are serving to push you to evolve into a better version of yourself. You may not always understand the reason for your struggles, but with faith, you can trust that they are preparing you for something greater. When you learn to embrace the idea that challenges are not burdens, but invitations to grow, you begin to see the world through a completely different lens. There is an inherent peace that comes from knowing that you do not need to figure everything out. The weight of the world does not rest on your shoulders. You are co-creating your life with a power much greater than yourself. The universe is constantly supporting you, guiding you, and moving things around you to align with your highest good. The more you trust in this, the more you begin to see evidence of this in your life. You will notice synchronicities, signs, and moments of divine intervention that seem to happen at just the right time. This is not coincidence. This is the result of your trust in the universe's ability to work for you. The mind, when left unchecked, tends to focus on the negative. It seeks to anticipate the worst possible outcome and feeds into feelings of fear and worry. This is why it's important to actively practice trust. You must train your mind to think in alignment with your desires, not your fears. When you focus on trust, you shift your energy from one of lack to one of abundance. You begin to recognize that the universe is not withholding anything from you. Instead, it is always providing exactly what you need in the moment. Everything that you want is already available to you. It is merely a matter of trusting in its arrival and remaining open to receiving it. There is a profound strength that comes from knowing you are never alone in your struggles. You are connected to something greater than yourself. The universe, or God, or whatever term you prefer, is with you in every moment. Every decision you make, every desire you hold, every challenge you face is guided by a force that is working for your benefit. When you trust in this connection, you understand that you are always supported. You are never without resources, even when it feels like you are. Your mind may tell you that you are in lack, but the truth is that everything you need is already within your reach. Your job is simply to trust that it will be revealed to you at the perfect time. Trust is not passive. It is an active practice that requires you to continuously choose to believe that everything will work out for you. It requires you to take inspired action, even when you are unsure of the next step. You do not need to know how things will unfold, but you do need to be open to the opportunities that will present themselves along the way. Trusting the process means following the signs, trusting your intuition, and taking the next step even when the entire path is not yet clear. The more you do this, the more you will see the way forward illuminated, and the more you will recognize the guidance that is constantly available to you. You must also understand that the process of trust requires a deep level of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up, but rather letting go of the need to control the outcome. It is about releasing the grip that fear has on your mind and allowing life to unfold as it is meant to. When you hold on too tightly to the idea of how things should be, you prevent the universe from working its magic. The moment you let go and allow yourself to flow with life, you will begin to see things move with ease and grace. Surrendering is about trusting that the universe knows what you need better than you do, and it will provide it to you at the perfect moment. Trusting that God will solve your problems means surrendering your fear and embracing peace. It means stepping out of the cycle of worry and allowing yourself to rest in the assurance that all is well. You do not need to understand everything, nor do you need to predict the future. The universe, or the divine, already knows how to bring you everything you desire. You only need to hold the belief that it is already done and trust in the process. You might be wondering, what if it doesn't work out the way I think it should? The answer is simple: it doesn't need to. The way things unfold may be different than what you expected, but that does not mean it is any less perfect. The divine plan always knows what is best for you, and sometimes that means the solution is even better than what you originally envisioned. When you trust that the universe has your best interests at heart, you can release the need for specific outcomes and be open to receiving blessings in whatever form they may take. By trusting in the divine process, you also learn to trust yourself. You are a part of the divine intelligence, and you are capable of manifesting your desires. Trusting yourself means knowing that you have the strength, wisdom, and guidance within you to navigate any situation. It is about recognizing that the answers you seek are already within you, and by aligning your thoughts and actions with the truth of your inner power, you will naturally attract the circumstances, people, and resources that are aligned with your desires. In every moment, you are faced with a choice to worry or to trust. To worry is to believe that you are separate from the divine and that you must figure everything out on your own. But to trust is to believe that you are one with the divine, that you are supported by the universe, and that everything you need is already in motion. The more you practice trust, the more you will experience peace, clarity, and guidance. The more you trust, the more you will see that everything is always working out for your highest good. Let go of your worries, for they serve no purpose. Instead, choose to trust. Trust that God is working for you, that the universe is supporting you, and that everything you need is on its way. Trust that the challenges you face are only temporary, and that they are leading you to something greater. Trust that the solutions are already within you, and that they will reveal themselves when the time is right. When you trust, you open yourself to the abundant flow of the universe, and you allow life to unfold with grace and ease. In moments of uncertainty, remember that you are never alone. It is important to remind yourself that you are a co-creator with the universe, and the universe is always working on your behalf. When you take the time to pause and reflect, you can feel this deep connection, this sense of knowing that you are part of something much larger than yourself. Trusting in this connection means understanding that every step you take is supported by an invisible force that works to guide you toward your highest good. You are not here by accident, you are here on purpose. Everything in your life has a reason, and everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Sometimes when things don't go as planned, we begin to question our path, our decisions, or our worth. The mind can become overwhelmed with doubts and fears, but you must take a step back and remind yourself that your path is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. You don't need to control every outcome. You don't need to have every detail figured out in advance. The divine knows exactly what you need, and it will bring those things to you at the right moment. The more you trust, the more you open yourself to receiving what you have been waiting for. It's essential to accept that the universe, or God, works in ways that often defy human understanding. The plans that are set in motion for you may not always align with your initial expectations. There may be moments when you feel lost or confused, but that is part of the process. Trust is not about having a perfect understanding of every single step. It's about knowing that you are guided and protected. It is about releasing the need to control every outcome and allowing life to unfold in the way it is meant to. This surrender is where true peace is found. Trusting God to solve your problems requires a mindset shift. We often look at our challenges as problems to be fixed. But what if we started seeing them as opportunities for growth? Each challenge is a doorway, a path to something greater. The more you trust that every difficulty is leading you to a better place, the more you'll find yourself stepping forward with confidence, knowing that the universe is supporting you every step of the way. The pain or discomfort you feel now is temporary, and it will lead you to a new level of understanding and fulfillment. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped worrying and embraced this trust wholeheartedly. Imagine waking up every day knowing that everything you need is already in motion. You would be able to approach your day with peace, clarity, and excitement rather than anxiety. You would not be afraid of setbacks because you would understand that they are simply a part of the process. You would see every challenge as a stepping stone, leading you toward greater wisdom and strength. This is what happens when you fully trust the process. Life becomes more effortless, more joyful, and more aligned with your true purpose. In the world we live in today, it's easy to become caught up in the rush and noise. We are bombarded with messages telling us to go faster, do more, and achieve more. This external pressure can sometimes cause us to lose sight of what really matters. It can lead to worry and stress, causing us to question if we are doing enough, if we are enough. But the truth is, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to have everything figured out. All you need to do is trust. Trust that you are already on the right path. Trust that the universe is aligning everything you need. Trust that you are enough, exactly as you are. Every time you choose to trust, you make space for miracles to happen. The more you trust, the more you will see the hand of the divine guiding you. You will begin to notice the signs, the synchronicities, and the moments when things fall into place effortlessly. These are not coincidences, they are the universe's way of showing you that you are on the right path. The more you trust, the more you will see how everything is interconnected. You will realize that there is no such thing as luck or chance. Everything is part of a divine design. There will be moments when fear creeps in, when doubt arises, when the mind tries to convince you that things are not going to work out. But in those moments, you have the power to choose. You can choose to let the fear consume you, or you can choose to trust. When you choose trust, you step into a place of power. You are no longer at the mercy of your thoughts or the circumstances around you. You are in control, because you know that everything is already working in your favor. The more you practice trust, the easier it becomes. It is a muscle that you strengthen with each day, each moment that you choose to let go of worry. Trust becomes a natural part of your being. It becomes the lens through which you view the world. You begin to see everything as a sign, everything as an opportunity, and you begin to approach life with a sense of wonder and curiosity rather than fear and doubt. Your worries do not change the outcome. They do not speed up the process or make things happen faster. Worry only keeps you stuck, trapped in a cycle of uncertainty. But trust, on the other hand, opens you up to infinite possibilities. It allows the universe to work on your behalf and brings you closer to the life you have always desired. When you choose trust, you are choosing peace. You are choosing to release the burden of controlling everything and allowing the divine to take over. And in doing so, you are setting yourself free. Each day is an opportunity to practice trust. It doesn't matter how difficult things may seem or how long the road may appear. Trust is not about waiting for everything to be perfect. It's about choosing to believe that everything is already in motion. Trust is about knowing that you are exactly where you need to be and that everything is unfolding perfectly. It's about letting go of the need to have every answer and embracing the belief that the answers will come when the time is right. As you continue on this journey of trust, you will notice that things begin to change. Your perspective shifts and your reality starts to reflect your inner beliefs. The more you trust, the more you align yourself with the flow of the universe. You become a magnet for the things you desire, and the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to melt away. Trust opens the door to endless possibilities. And when you walk through that door, you will discover a life that is full of joy, peace, and abundance, because you chose to trust. So, in this moment, release your worries. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the fear that things won't work out. Trust that they will. Trust that the universe has a plan for you, and that everything you desire is already on its way. You don't need to know how it will come or when it will come. All you need to do is trust that it will. And when you do, you will find that life has a way of bringing you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. When you stop worrying, you create space for the miraculous to occur. Worrying is a form of resistance. It is holding tightly to a belief that things cannot work out or that you are not worthy of the good that you desire. But when you release that resistance and allow yourself to trust, you align with the flow of the universe. You are in harmony with your desires, and the energy you send out returns to you multiplied. Trust is the key that unlocks the door to your manifestations. Trust is what allows you to step into your power and embrace your worthiness without hesitation. The journey of trusting in God, the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is not about blind faith without any action. It is about aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with your belief that everything is already working in your favor. Trust is not passive, it is active. It is about fully participating in the creation of your reality. It is about taking inspired action when you are led to do so, knowing that the universe is guiding you every step of the way. Trusting that the steps you take are exactly the ones that will lead you to where you need to be. When you find yourself in moments of doubt, when your mind wants to revert back to worry and fear, take a deep breath and pause. Take a moment to reconnect with your inner knowing. Remember that you are not alone in this journey. You are always supported. The universe works in mysterious ways, but it is always working for your highest good. Every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is not a punishment, but a lesson that is preparing you for the next level of your growth. You are being molded, shaped, and refined by the experiences that you go through. Trust that these experiences are necessary for your expansion, and trust that everything is working together for your benefit. When you surrender your worries and trust that things are happening as they should, you let go of the need to force or control the outcomes. The desire for control often stems from a place of fear, but fear is not your true nature. Love is, and when you operate from a place of love, you are able to release control and trust the process. You allow your dreams to unfold in their own time, trusting that they will come to fruition when the time is right. You stop forcing, stop pushing, and allow the energy of the universe to take care of the how and when. Remember, you are a powerful being. You are not a passive participant in the events of your life. You are the creator of your reality. The moment you trust that everything is already being taken care of, you begin to see the world differently. You begin to notice the signs, the synchronicities, and the moments of alignment that confirm you are on the right path. Trusting allows you to recognize that there is a divine order to everything, even when things seem chaotic or uncertain. The power of trust is that it opens you to receive in ways that you never expected. Trust creates room for abundance to flow into your life in unexpected and miraculous ways. When you stop trying to control every aspect of your life, you allow the universe to surprise you, to show up in ways that you could never have anticipated. This is the beauty of trust. When you let go of worry, you release the barriers that prevent you from receiving your blessings. You create space for miracles to enter your life. You may have been taught that you need to work hard for everything you want, that you need to strive and struggle to get ahead. But the truth is that struggle is a product of fear. When you trust, you stop struggling. You stop chasing after things, and you begin to attract them effortlessly. The energy of the universe works on your behalf when you align yourself with trust. You begin to see how everything you need is already in motion, even when you cannot see it with your physical eyes. Trust means having faith that the unseen is just as real as the seen, and that your desires are already on their way to you, even if they haven't manifested yet. There is power in being still and knowing that everything is going to work out. There is power in releasing the urge to constantly strive, to constantly check and double check. Trusting means having the courage to let go and know that what is meant for you will find its way to you. The more you practice this trust, the more natural it becomes. You start to recognize the signs, the signals, and the intuitive nudges that guide you. You start to see how things align in perfect timing, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. It's not falling apart, it's falling into place. The road to trust is not always easy, especially when fear and doubt are loud voices in your mind. It takes courage to trust when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. But that is the moment when your trust is truly tested and strengthened. When you choose to trust despite the circumstances, you are choosing to honor your higher self, to align with the wisdom of the universe. Trust is not about waiting for things to look perfect. It is about knowing that everything is working out, even when you can't see the full picture. When you worry, you are closing off the very energy that can bring about your desires. Worry keeps you stuck in the past or focused on a potential future that hasn't even happened yet. Trust, on the other hand, anchors you in the present moment. It allows you to stand firm in the belief that everything you need is already being provided for you. Trust opens the door for you to move forward with confidence, knowing that every step you take is divinely guided. Every time you release worry and choose to trust, you are actively co-creating your life. You are stepping into your power and allowing the universe to work its magic on your behalf. You are creating space for miracles to unfold. And as you do this, you will begin to see how things start to shift. Opportunities will appear where there once were obstacles. The people you need will show up when you least expect them. The resources you require will come to you at the perfect moment. And all of this will happen because you made the choice to trust, to surrender, and to believe that everything is going to be okay. So whenever doubt creeps in, whenever the worry starts to consume you, remember you don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Trust that God, the universe, or the divine forces at work in your life are already working to bring you everything you desire. Your job is to trust, to surrender, and to allow. When you do this, you will find that life becomes easier, lighter, and more joyful. You will realize that the solutions to your problems are already in motion, and you simply need to allow them to unfold in their perfect time. Trust that everything will be solved, and know that you are always supported. When you live in a state of trust, you begin to notice how things align with your desires. The universe has a way of bringing you what you need when you let go of the fear and resistance that often accompany worry. This state of trust doesn't mean that challenges won't arise, in fact they will. But it means that you approach those challenges from a place of peace, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for transformation. You see, the essence of trust lies in knowing that all experiences, both the good and the difficult, are ultimately for your benefit. They are shaping you, molding you, and refining you into the person you are meant to become. When you embrace this truth, you can face life's challenges with a sense of calm, knowing that they are not obstacles to your progress, but stepping stones to your ultimate success. The key is to trust in the process. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and trust that the divine has your back. Trust also means letting go of the need to control how things unfold. Often we become attached to specific outcomes or timelines. We want things to happen in a certain way, and when they don't, we worry. But when you release the need to control, you open the door to infinite possibilities. The universe is not bound by the limitations of your mind. It has the ability to bring you what you desire in ways that are far beyond your imagination. Trusting means surrendering the how and the when, and allowing life to unfold in the most beautiful and miraculous way possible. This surrender doesn't mean that you sit idly by and wait for things to happen. Trust is not passive. It is an active state of being. It is knowing that you are aligned with your highest good, and that everything you do is a reflection of that trust. When you trust, you take inspired action. You do not force or push, but you move forward with confidence and faith, knowing that you are being guided toward the right opportunities, the right people, and the right situations. Trusting means that you listen to your intuition, that you follow the nudges that come from within, and that you move forward with a sense of purpose, even if you don't know exactly where the path will lead. The act of trusting also frees you from the burden of stress and anxiety. Worry is a heavy weight to carry, and it is often a sign that you are trying to solve problems that are not meant to be solved yet. Trust allows you to release that weight, to take a step back, and to see things from a broader perspective. When you trust, you no longer feel the need to figure everything out on your own. You trust that help will arrive when you need it. You trust that the resources, the opportunities, and the support you require will come to you at the perfect time. Trusting also means trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, your decisions, and your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Often we doubt ourselves and second-guess our choices, but trust is about embracing your inner wisdom and knowing that you are capable of navigating whatever challenges arise. You are more powerful than you realize, and when you trust in yourself, you tap into that power. You stop seeking approval or validation from others because you know that you are guided from within. It's important to remember that trust is not something that happens overnight. It is a practice, a way of being. The more you practice trust, the easier it becomes. Start by trusting in small things. Trust that the sun will rise tomorrow. Trust that you will find the answers you need. Trust that the universe is working in your favor. As you build your trust muscle, you will begin to see how it positively impacts all areas of your life. Relationships, finances, health, everything begins to flow more easily when you live in trust. Trust also involves having a deep sense of gratitude for where you are in life right now. When you trust, you can look at your current circumstances and appreciate the journey that has brought you to this point. You understand that every experience, every success, every failure, every twist and turn has been an essential part of your growth. Gratitude deepens your trust because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to love. When you are grateful for what you have and trust that more is on its way, you are creating a vibration that attracts even more blessings into your life. As you begin to trust more deeply, you will notice that your life begins to reflect this shift. The worries that once consumed you will no longer have power over you. You will approach each day with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you are supported, that you are loved, and that everything is working out for you. The struggles will still come, but they will no longer feel overwhelming. Instead, you will see them as opportunities to grow, to expand, and to deepen your trust even further. When you truly trust, you allow yourself to receive. Many of us are so accustomed to giving, to doing, to solving problems that we forget how to receive. But receiving is just as important as giving. Trusting allows you to open your heart and your mind to the abundance that is already on its way to you. It allows you to accept the gifts and blessings that life has to offer, knowing that you deserve them. You are worthy of all the goodness that the universe has in store for you. You are not alone in this journey. The universe is constantly working on your behalf. There is a greater intelligence guiding you, supporting you, and loving you every step of the way. All you need to do is trust that it knows the way. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if it doesn't look the way you thought it would. Trust that every step you take is leading you to where you need to be. And above all, trust that you are always supported, always loved, and always guided. As you continue to practice trust, you will find that worry no longer has a place in your life. It will lose its grip on you, and you will find peace in knowing that everything is already working out. You are not just a passive observer in this process, you are an active participant. The power of trust lies within you, and as you tap into that power, you will begin to see how everything in your life begins to transform. Trust is the key to unlocking the miracles that await you. Trust that everything you desire is already on its way, and know that the best is yet to come. Trust is the foundation upon which a life of peace, abundance, and fulfillment is built. When you let go of worry and choose to trust in the divine flow of life, you open yourself to endless possibilities. By surrendering control and embracing the unknown, you align with a higher power that guides you toward your highest good. Trusting allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that everything is working in your favor, even in the face of challenges. It frees you from the burden of fear and stress, and it empowers you to step into the fullness of your potential. As you practice trust, you create a ripple effect in your life that transforms your relationships, your work, and your personal growth. You become a magnet for blessings, opportunities, and solutions, all because you trust that what you need will always be provided. Remember that the divine is always at work behind the scenes, orchestrating events and bringing people and circumstances into your life for your benefit. So the next time worry begins to creep in, remind yourself that you do not need to solve everything on your own. Trust that it will all unfold perfectly, at the right time, in the right way. You are never alone, and with trust in your heart, you will find peace in every moment and joy in the journey ahead. Keep trusting and watch as the universe delivers everything you have asked for and more.